What's up guys, YST here and welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Or should I say Fusion Shadow Legends, as Plarium always love to release these new Fusion champions before we can save all of our resources to even do them. But on this case we actually have an epic one, which will be a Fragment style event starting November 24th, which is next Thursday, to summon this Barbarian champion in Hoskarul. And aesthetically, he looks really cool. I like it. It fits the theme of the faction, and he's a spirit-based, defensive-based champion. Now, myself and Nub Raids actually predicted this would happen in a collaboration that we did last week over on his channel, where we was expecting an epic Fragment event starting from the 24th, which is actually the date that they set for this fusion. And it's really cool that it goes over the 2x Ancients, which is an event that most of the player base like to participate in, if you're not going for the guaranteed champion in Stoutest Dragonbane, which will be starting live tomorrow. So you kind of have to think to yourself, do you want to save your shards for a 2x event, which you know that will be coinciding with a fusion? Or do you want to use all of your ancient shards now over the guaranteed event? Which I think, because it's overdue and you've been saving your shards already, it's probably a good route to take. But I'll leave that down to your discretion. I really wish that it would be a champion chase tournament and not a summon rush event, because that's a huge playing field in these events personally. Because you don't get a lot of points for the summon rush events, but in terms of champion chase, you'll be seeing a lot more return on your investment. So we'll have to wait and see on that behalf, but let's get straight into the kit, the juicy stuff. Let's just bring it up. So on the A1 ability with the Hermit Cudgel, is that how you say it? Will attack one enemy, has a 30% chance of placing a stun debuff for one turn, and this will be bookable up to a 40% chance. This will be the first time that I'm reading it as well. We don't have a lot of time on our embargo, but in terms of an A1 for a stun, I'm actually a fan of this. It's universal, you can take it into so many places and it will have an effect. It's a bit of a low chance, but just remember, this is an epic champion. On the sustained beating, on a 3-turn cooldown once booked, will attack all enemies, will have a 75% chance of placing a stun debuff for one turn, and decreases the turn meters of all enemies under stun debuffs by 15%. This is actually a really strong A2 in my personal opinion for progression, because you've got one of the most crucial CC debuffs in stun at a high chance, being 75%, and you're also doing turn meter manipulation in the same skill set and not relying on the other skills in his kit. So to have this on a 3-turn cooldown for CC, maybe even for the Spider's Lair, locking off those spiders, or just waves in general, as long as he's tanky and potentially hits hard, I think this will be a really strong ability for 99% of the players out there. With the Unphase on a 4-turn cooldown on the A3, will remove all stun debuffs from all allies. Okay. Then places a 60% increased defense buff, which will amplify his damage, and a 25% increased resistance buff on all allies for 2 turns. Now, I'm not sure if there's going to be some sort of mechanic where there will be stuns that will be affecting the Hydra heads. Because I remember with Bivold of the Fawn, they released him, everybody thought he was underwhelming, and then they released that Provoke is going to be a big playing field in locking down the Head of Decay. Now, this is just speculation again on my behalf, but potentially if there will be a Hydra head that you can stun, his value surge will go through the roof, as he's inflicting stuns on every single ability, applying a 60% increased defense on all allies, allowing you to be more sustained. And then you've got increased resistance, which is actually really valuable in Hydra. So from a speculation standpoint, and you can go for him and you're summoning for your ancient shards anyway, he could be a nice champion to snag up on your account, just in case something like that falls into effect. And I don't want you guys to be sat there with that Bivold stuff and be like, why didn't I do this fusion? As having stun on every single skill is actually pretty rare. Well, I'll say, well, it removes the stun on this one, but in terms of the A2 and A1, I like it. I think it's a nice skill set here. With the Finish the Foe passive, he's immune to stun debuffs and increases the damage inflicted by all allies by 15% when attacking enemies under stun debuffs. So even if he's not good in Hydra Boss and the stun isn't a thing, maybe that Hydra bed will be able to stun us and he could be immune to that. I don't know, guys. I think he's just a champion that you could have in your accounts. Could be great for faction wars, CC and waves, and just somebody cool to have on your account. Will then increase ally defense in faction crypts by 30%. So if you're struggling in that area, could be a nice champion to fill up the Pokedex. Do I think he's a waste of space? Nope. In terms of damage multipliers, we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully we do get some test server access to playtest this champion. And let me know your thoughts on him as a whole in terms of aesthetics, kit, and being used on a big range of accounts out there. I like him. I really do like him. And I hope that this hits hard on his A2. So I just came back from picking up my daughter from nursery and now I've got rain on my jumper. So if you see any rain droplets, it didn't rain in my house. But I just wanted to head into the Barbarian faction and just discuss what other champions could replace him so you don't have to go for the fusion if you don't feel it's necessary. As right now, as I was saying before, I feel like it's a speculation thing where he could be really good for Hydra Boss if a new head comes out and he's not immune to stun debuffs and that's the way to lock him out, like how Decay is with Provoke, then I feel like you have a lot of value being immune to stuns himself. He's able to strip the stuns from your other allies, place increased defense and resistance, and also do stuns of his own. But we do get Scylla the Drakes. She is a daily login champion, and she applies a stun on the A2 ability, and she is free to attain. So if you're after purely just a stun champion, there is somebody out there that is free, so you might not need to go for the fusion. And then there's also champions like Archmage Helmet, who was a Doom Tower champion from the normal difficulty, who also has a 75% chance to place that stun on his A2 ability with Time Slip. So just room for thought, and let me know if you guys will be going for this fusion champion. Is it something that you're interested in? And I just want to pull up something as well. So if I just head over to that collaboration with Nub Raids again. Let me just pull it up for you guys. And boom. We are expecting a Christmas fusion sometime around the 16th, which is the same time as the Tora Rhymehyde fusion last year. So if you do want to save your resources around this time and save it for that future fusion and use this as a cooling off period, it could be something that you might want to say to yourself as well, depending how your accounts look in terms of your resources. So yeah, that is going to be all for the video, guys. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.